Meantime, Delegate Nino Mangione proposed a bill this legislative session named after Rachel Marin. It would have prohibited Maryland counties from adopting sanctuary policies and required them to cooperate with federal immigration authorities.
Sanctuary policies can be deadly. They're dangerous. They need to end. It may not bring Rachel Marin back. I pray for her family. But the fact is, the hope of this bill is to make sure nothing like that ever happens again.
Now, that bill didn't make it to the Senate before crossover day last month, meaning it is unlikely, highly unlikely to pass. A similar bill that would have required jurisdictions to cooperate with ICE also didn't make it out of the House. Now, there are other immigration-related bills still on the table right now. Two of them would restrict Maryland's cooperation with ICE. With less than a week left in the session, however, it's not clear if they'll pass. Fox 45's Vincent Hill has a closer look at both bills. Vincent.
Well, Kai, one looks to prevent ICE officials from going into what's considered safe places. The other looks to end agreements between local law enforcement and ICE.
1,953 miles from the southern border, the topic of immigration, a hot one in Annapolis.
You will have just received changes to Senate Bill 828.
Two controversial bills making their way around the chambers, Senate Bill 828 and House Bill 1222.
This is the sensitive locations bill.
Wednesday, lawmakers in the House Judiciary Committee discussing Senate Bill 828, which looks to prohibit federal immigration officials access to areas deemed sensitive, like schools, libraries, and churches.
We're just going to talk about it.
Lawmakers not ready to cast a vote as they hammer out what and where a sensitive place is.
I think the question becomes, how far do you go here?
Immigration officials say they rarely, if ever, go into those locations. However, the bill would also keep them out of the area around those locations, allowing criminals to hide in plain sight.
Very savvy criminals were seeking out churches and schools to live across the street from, knowing that they would be shielded.
Meanwhile,
we should not be doing the federal government's job for them.
Delegate Nicole Williams pushing for the end of the 287G program as part of House Bill 1222.
Those jurisdictions that are currently have these types of agreements, yes, they will have to terminate those agreements.
The agreement allows law enforcement to assist in immigration enforcement.
So it actually should be titled the Place Marylanders in Danger Act, because that's what it effectively does.
Law enforcement from across the state voicing their disapproval of doing away with the program.
I think it's ignorance and I think it's politics. There's a fine line between both of them sometimes, right?
President of the Maryland Sheriff's Association, Jim DeWeese.
This is not law enforcement going out into the community with ICE and grabbing people up and saying, you don't look like you belong here. That's what the sponsors of the bills want you to believe.
Despite the disapproval, the bill passing the House 98-38.
So it's a shame that folks that are sponsoring this type of legislation are so incredibly ignorant about the issue, and even more ignorant when it comes to their constituency and what they truly want.
Both bills now await their respective chambers' vote to see if either will become law.
Meanwhile, lawmakers are expected to vote on House Bill 828 tomorrow, as session is set to end on Monday. For now, we're live in Baltimore. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.